Hello everyone. In this video, we'll do the daily current affairs analysis of 14th February 2022. So the first topic which we will discuss is what is the provision of poll please. So the election commission's role ends with the announcement of the results. After that, a voter or the candidate who suspects election fraud has just one legal recourse, filing an election petition to protest the results. Such a person might submit an election petition with the High Court of the state in which the constituency is located. The petition must be filed within 45 days following the poll results. Despite the fact that the Representative of the People's Act of 1951 requires the High Court to complete the trial in 6 months or less, it usually takes considerably longer, even years. The ground for filing: on election day, the winning candidate was ineligible to run for office. The victorious candidate, his poll agent, or anybody else with the winning candidate's approval has engaged in a corrupt practice, accepting or rejecting a nomination improperly based on the winner candidate's nomination, malpractice in the counting process, such as erroneous reception, refusal, or rejection of any vote. Furthermore, if the petition is filed by a candidate, she may ask the court to proclaim her the winner or properly elected. In the past, elections results have been declared null and void. The Allahabad High Court decision of 1975 annulled Indira Gandhi's 4-year-old election from the Rai Bareli constituency due to alleged corruption. Provision of the 1951 RP Act include the following. It governs the conduct of elections and by-elections. It provides the administrative infrastructure for elections to be held. It has to do with the registration of political parties. Bribery, coercion, and the appeal to vote or not vote on the basis of religion, race, community, or language are all types of corrupt practices outlined in Section 123 of the RP Act. Source of this news is ECI website. The next topic in news is all about the vaccine hesitancy. So the following are some of the reasons why people should get vaccinated. Immunization's main purpose is to protect patients from dangerous diseases. Immunization, when done on a large scale, also protects communities by establishing herd immunity. Vaccines against polio, smallpox, meningitis, and other diseases have been very successful all throughout the world. Why is it necessary to reduce vaccination related apprehension? According to a Gallup poll conducted before to the immunization rollout in 2020, 18% of Indians said they would not take the vaccine. Since then, however, vaccine fear has grown in India owing to mostly overblown claims of difficulties or even deaths. Vaccine apprehension has far reaching consequences, so vaccine hesitancy can be triggered by a number of circumstances, including one of the driving variables is a lack of understanding of the scope of benefits, fears that are based on false information. Vaccines are difficult to come by. There is a lot of disinformation out there, especially on social media. Other factors include conceptions of civil freedom, cost, cultural barriers, and numerous layers of confidence deficiency. Source of this news is WHO website. The next topic in news is what is the GAGANYAAN mission? The mission is as follows. GAGANYAAN is an Indian space research organization project. According to the GAGANYAAN program, 3 GAGANYAAN aircraft will be sent into orbit. There will be 2 unmanned flights and 1 human space flight. The GAGANYAAN system module, termed the orbital module, would be home to 3 Indian astronauts, one of whom is a woman. It will orbit Earth in a low Earth orbit at a distance of 300 to 400 kilometers for 5 to 7 days. The payload will include a crew module, which will be a spaceship that will transport humans. The service module is powered by 2 liquid propellant engines. It will be able to escape in an emergency and abort missions. Because of its payload capabilities, the three-stage heavy lift launch vehicle GSLV Mk3, also known as the LVM-3 launch vehicle Mark III, will be used to launch Gaganyaan. Gaganyaan mission international collaboration. In Russia, astronauts will receive training. In June 2019, the ISRO's Human Space Flight Center and the Russian government's Globkomos inked a training deal that includes Russian support in applicant selection, medical evaluation, and space training. On board the Tu-76 MDK plane, the applicants will study the systems of the Soyuz manned spacecraft in depth and receive training in short-term weightlessness. The Soyuz is a Russian spacecraft. The Soyuz is an international spacecraft that delivers personnel and supplies to and from the International Space Station. Gaganyaan mission's importance. It will contribute to the country's growth in science and technology as well as motivate young people. It will involve a number of agencies, laboratories, specialities, enterprises and departments. It will aid in the expansion of the industrial sector. As part of steps aimed at promoting private participation in the space industry, the government has announced the foundation of the InSpace. It will aid in the growth of technology for the greater good of society. It will contribute to bettering international cooperation. It's likely that a single International Space Station ISS created by a group of countries won't be enough. Gaganyaan will concentrate on regional necessities such as food, water, and energy security, all of which will need the creation of regional ecosystems. Other upcoming Indian projects include India has unveiled preparations for a new moon expedition called Chandrayaan-3. It is scheduled to premiere in early 2022. Shukrayaan mission. The ISRO is also working on a Venus mission dubbed as Shukrayaan. The source of this news is ISRO website. The next topic in news is different cabinet committees. So committees of the cabinet, the appointment committee, the committee on accommodations, cabinet committee on economic affairs. The legislative process is overseen by the cabinet committee on parliamentary affairs, the cabinet committee on political affairs, the cabinet committee on security, cabinet committee on investment and growth, the cabinet committee on employment and skills. The cabinet committees are as follows, except for the cabinet committee on accommodation and the cabinet committee on parliamentary affairs. All the committees are chaired by the Prime Minister. They are extra constitutional at the time of their emergence. In other words, they are not mentioned in the Constitution. The rules of business, on the other hand, make it possible for them to exist. The Indian executive is governed by the Government of India Transaction of Business Rules 1961. The President shall adopt rules for the more convenient transaction of the Government of India's business. Members of the Cabinet's Standing Committee are appointed by the Prime Minister and given specific tasks. Other groups of ministers have been formed to explore various issues or subjects in addition to Cabinet committees. Source of this news is The Hindu. The next topic in news is what is in-flight Wi-Fi. So what is the protocol for connecting in-flight? In-flight connectivity systems use both terrestrial and satellite internet services. Once flight mode is activated, the plane's antenna will connect to terrestrial internet services provided by telecom service providers. Once the aeroplane reaches a height of 3000 meters, the antenna will switch to satellite-based services. Internet access will not be interrupted for passengers and cross interference between terrestrial and satellite networks will be avoided. Upcoming challenges: airlines will cover the first cost of installing antenna aboard planes. As a result, the higher cost may be reflected in ticket prices. Aside from the equipment, the increased weight and drag generated by the antenna will result in greater fuel costs for aeroplanes. Due to technology and rules, Calls can be made from planes, although many airlines do not want noisy cabins. Benefits: passengers may make phone calls and access the internet while traveling on more than 30 airlines across the world. This service will now help Indian Airlines compete against international carriers. Business travelers love these services because they allow them to continue working without interruption. So source of this news is The Hindu. So thanks a lot for watching the analysis video. Have a nice day.